So good day everyone. I am the reporter of chapter 14, which is about cancer. So here is the chapter outline. So the 14.1 is about the basic properties of cancer. 14.2 is about the causes of cancer. 14.3 is the cancer, which is a genetic disorder. And 14.4 is overview of tumor suppressor gene and oncogenes. So here is the learning objectives. So at the end of the lessons, the students should be able to first explain the basic properties and distinguishing features of cancer cell. Second is analyze the causes of cancer, including genetic, environmental, and biological factors. 3 is describe the genetic basis of cancer, focusing on mutations and genomic instability. And last is differentiate the roles of tumor suppressors genes and oncogenes in cancer development. So the first na matatakal natin ngayon is 14.4 is the basic properties of cancer cell. So ano nga ba yung mga properties ni cancer cell? So next is discovery of HeLa cell. So pag-usapan muna natin ang discovery of HeLa cell. So HeLa cells came from the cancer cells of Henrietta Lacks in 1951. So kinuha ang cancer cell ni Lacks nang walang permissions, which is nag-raise ito ng ethical issues in medical research. So these cells are called immortal dahil na-observe sa laboratory na kaya nitong mag-divide endlessly, which is making them very useful for scientific studies. And it observed na it grew faster compared to normal cells, kaya ginamit ito sa research for vaccine, cancer, at genetics. So HeLa cells also have abnormal chromosome, which it can be have an extra chromosome or missing ones, which show the genetic instability of cancer cell. So despite their huge contributions sa medical breakthroughs, so their origin remind us of the importance of patient rights and informed consent. Ayan. So next is, papag-uusapan natin ang what is cancer. So unahin mo natin, ano nga ba ang cancer? So cancer is a group of diseases caused by normal cells transforming into cancerous that grows, multiply, and uncontrollably. So, in healthy body, si genes ang nagpo-provide ng instructions sa cell about when to grow and divide or stopping multiplying. So, normal cells follow these instructions, maintaining balance in the body. However, si cancer cell is ini-ignore niya yung mga signals that leading to unchecked growth and the formations of tumors, which can spread to other parts of the body. So, cancer happens because of the changes or mutation in specific genes, pero kadalasan hindi ito in-inherit or namamana mula sa mga parents, which is karamihan ng cancer ay nabubuo kapag nagkakaroon ng mutation sa mga somatic cells ng katawan. So, habang tumatagal ang buhay ng isang tao. So, ang mga changes na ito ay pwedeng mangyari dahil sa pagtanda, or maaaring exposure sa harmful substances o pagkakaroon ng mali during process of cell division. So next is, so natalakay na natin what is cancer, no? So yun yung disease. So i-differentiate muna natin yung healthy cells or normal cells sa cancer cell. So unahin muna natin yung normal cell. So, here is the characteristic of normal cells. So, si normal cell ay may pina-follow na specific rules for growth and divisions. So, in culture, they grow in a single layer or monolayer and it is stopped dividing when they touch each other. So, it is a process known as contact inhibition. So, they require external growth signals such as nutrients in the blood to divide. So, si normal cells ay merong limited number lang sa pagdi-divide bago mag-stop ito. So, furthermore, it maintains a stable and correct chromosome numbers ensuring that their genetic informations remains intact throughout cell divisions. So these characteristics help ensure the proper functioning and lifespan of normal cells. Next is energy use. So normal cells is mainly use a process called oxidative phosphorylations to produce energy. So this process is very efficient because it uses oxygen to create energy or ATP, which is the main energy source for cells. So next is normal cells is adapting to low oxygen. So normal cells have difficulty to surviving in low oxygen environment unless they can adapt through certain mechanism. So if they are not enough oxygen, they struggle to produce energy and may not function properly. So normal cells is naga-undergo ng cell death. So when normal cells are serious damage, so they undergo called apoptosis, which is a controlled form of cell death. So this process is help get rid of cells that could be harmful, preventing damage to the other cells, no? So yun yung apoptosis. So nag-undergo siya ng apoptosis. So nalaman na natin si normal cells ay may mga characteristic na nag-undergo siya in apoptosis. Ayan. Meron siyang pina-follow na instructions from the signals kung kailan siya mag-i-stop and mag-divide. So, pag-usapan na naman natin ang characteristic ni cancer cell. So, cancer cell, growth in culture. So, in cancer cell, they continue to grow uncontrollably. And nagpo-form ito ng clumping, which is yung mga damaged or dead cells is nagka-clump doon sa mga healthy cells. That's why doon nabubuo ang cancer because yung mga dead cells is nagre-release sila ng harmful substances leading to inflammation or further damage. So, the growth of cancer cells is ini-ignore niya yung signals kaya nagkakaroon ng continuous divisions. Unlike sa normal cells, is may pina-follow silang instructions kung kailan sila mag-i-stop mag-divide. So, cancer cells' lifespan can grow without the need for external growth signals due to changes in their genetic makeup. So, they also have ability to divide indefinitely. So, because of an enzyme known telomerase, which is si telomerase is enzyme na pinaprevent na ang chromosome is magkaroon ng shortening and mas inaalaw pa niya na mag-continuous yung division. So, cancer cells often have abnormal numbers of chromosomes o tinatawag natin na aneuploidy. Ibig sabihin, nangyayari ang aneuploidy kapag nag-fail to ng undergo apoptosis ang cells, allowing them to survive and grow despite damages. So, nagkakaroon ng abnormalities doon sa chromosome. So, next is the energy use of cancer is primarily use glycolysis faster but less efficient energy production even the presence of oxygen. So, yun yung undergo ni cancer cell na glycolysis. Unlike kanina, si normal cells is ginagamit niya ang oxidative phosphorylations, no? Yun yung pagkakaiba nila. Next is adapting to low oxygen. So, cancer cell can survive in low oxygen by activating HIF, promoting blood vessel formation to support tumor growth. Ayan. So, unlike kanina, si normal cells naman is hindi niya kaya mag-adapt ng low oxygen. So, kailangan i-process siya ng oxidative phosphorylations by an ATP, no? So, next is cancer cell is meron siyang cell death. So, sa cell death kasi ni cancer cell is ina-avoid niyo yung apoptosis. Unlike kay normal cell, so nagpa-process o nag-undergo siya ng apoptosis. So, by avoiding apoptosis, it continues growing despite damage or mutations. So that's why doon nabubuo ang cancer cell. So here is the illustrations of cancer cells or normal cells. So it plays crucial role in energy production through a process called oxidative phosphorylation. So ayun yung nag-undergo ang normal cells sa oxidative phosphorylation. So this process takes place in the mitochondria and uses oxygen to efficiently convert glucose into ATP, which is the cell's energy currency. With sufficient oxygen, normal cells can produce a high amount of energy to carry out their function, such as growth, repair, and divisions. So some cells are also undergo apoptosis or programmed cell death when they are severely damaged or no longer needed, maintaining a balance and preventing uncontrolled growth. So while in cancer cells, so as you can see in illustration, the situation changes. So cancer cells often rely more on aerobic glycolysis or the Warburg effect, even the presence of oxygen. So this is less efficient way of producing energy, generating less ATP from glucose compared to oxidative phosphorylation. However, it allows cancer cells to produce energy more quickly and support their rapid growth and division. Even when oxygen is available, cancer cell is continue to rely on glycolysis, which also provide them with other metabolic byproducts necessary for building new cell structures. So this metabolic shift gives a cancer cells an advantage in conditions where normal cells might not survive, so such as low oxygen environments within tumors. Furthermore, cancer cells are also less likely to undergo apoptosis, allowing them to survive and proliferate uncontrollably. So next is morphological of normal cells to cancer cells. So as you can see in illustrations, they have different, no? So makikita natin ang kanilang differences. So the first is the morphology of normal cells. So ang shape nila is typically have a regular, uniform shape or round or no, oval. So ang size ni normal cells is have a consistent and appropriate size based on the tissue they belong to. So ang nucleus ni normal cells is round and centrally located with a clear and uniform structure. And ang arrangement naman ni normal cells is na-perform in a single layer or monolayer and tend to stop growing once they attach neighboring cells or contact inhibitions. So, ang cytoplasm ni normal cells is well-defined cytoplasm with organelles organized for proper cell function. And as you can see, the chromosome of normal cells have a stable number of chromosomes and typically in pairs or tinatawag nating diploid. So, while in morphology of cancer cell, so yung color red na yan, so yung shape ni cancer cell may have an irregular or asymmetrical shape with varying size. So, yung size ni cancer cell is often larger than normal cells with an enlarged nucleus. So, ang nucleus naman ni cancer is irregular and often enlarged and can have abnormal structures such as multiple nucleoli or uneven chromatin. Then, the arrangement ng cancer cells is nag-grow in clumps and pile on top of another that ignoring contact inhibitions. And the cytoplasm of cancer cells can be disorganized with irregularities in the structure and function of organelles. Next is the chromosome naman ng cancer cells is nag-exhibit in aneuploidy, meaning they have an abnormal number of chromosome with frequent mutations or rearrangement doon sa chromosome. So, yun yung mga morphology ni normal cells compared to cancer cell. So, napag-usapan na natin what is the meaning of cancer, what is the characteristic ni cancer, and ni normal cells and cancer cell, and na-discuss na natin yung morphological of normal cells and cancer cell. So, let's move to the basic properties of cancer cell. The first basic properties is loss of growth control. So, si cancer cell is ini-ignore niya yung mga normal cells that regulate of cell growth and divisions, kaya nagkakaroon ng loss sa pag-control ng growth ng isang cell. Unlike sa normal cells or healthy cells, is nag-stop na siyang mag-grow kapag na-reach na niya yung certain size or when they contact to the other cells. So, next is the properties of cancer cells is meron siyang aneuploidy. So, ano nga ba yon? So, it happens when cells often have an abnormal number of chromosomes, meaning they can have an extra or missing chromosomes. They may also have a chromosomal rearrangement such as pieces of chromosome swapping places. So, these changes can disrupt normal cell functions and contribute to uncontrolled growth. So, meron siyang abnormal number of chromosome. Yun ang kanyang isang properties ni cancer cell. So, next is properties niya is resistant siya to apoptosis. So, ano nga ba yun? So, cancer cell is may properties siya na ina-avoid niya yung tinatawag nating programmed cell death or apoptosis. Which is, ito yung process na apoptosis na nakakatulong na yung mga damaged cells or abnormal cells ay kailangan alisin para hindi na mag-cause ng inflammation. So, ang nangyayari as long as na ina-avoid yung process na apoptosis, is natitrigger yung mga damaged cells can lead to cancer cells and continue to grow, spread, and damage healthy tissues, making the disease worse and potentially leading to organ failure or death if not treated. So, yun is ina-avoid niya yung apoptosis na process. That's why mas lalong kumakalat or mas hinahawaan ng mga damaged cells yung mga healthy cells. And nagpo-form na siya ng nagpo-process na siya ng inflammation. Next is the properties of cancer cells is genetic instability. So, cancer is caused by DNA mutation that disrupt normal cell growth, division, and death. So, here is the key mutations include. So, may tatlo tayo dyan. So, the first is oncogenes. Si oncogenes is promote niya yung uncontrolled yung cell ng growth. Like example is due to RAS mutation, which is si RAS is kind of protein na tumutulong for cell growth and divide. Kaya kapag nag-mutate ang RAS is it can lead to oncogenes. Ayan, so magko-continuous yung cell growth niya. Next is, second is tumor suppressor genes. Nangyayari ang TSG kapag ang genes tulad ng TP53 ay nawala, so the cell can't repair, or yung TP53 is hindi na nag-function. So yung cell is can't repair damage or undergo cell death. So, si TP53 gene, ang role niya is mag-provide ng instruction for making a protein. Then, once na mag-mutated ang TP53, so it can lead cancerous. Kasi nga, si TP53 is nagpo-provide ng instruction for making more protein. So, as long as na mag-mutate to, so mas maraming mapoproduce na protein and mag-mutate that can lead to cancerous. And i-avoid niya yung cell death din. So next is DNA repair genes. So genes of BRCA1 is ang role niya is to maintaining the stability of cell genetic material. So once na magkaroon ng defects ang gene na BRCA1, so ang gagawin niya is i-avoid niya na maayos yung mga genetic errors that can lead to more mutations. So these changes disrupt normal cells' behavior and contribute to cancer development. So the another properties is enabling replicative immortality. So meaning the cancer cell is keep divide forever. Unlike the normal cells that can stop dividing after a certain number of divisions. So this happens because of cancer cells is much more activated yung telomerase, which is isa siyang enzyme na pine-prevent yung shortening of chromosomes and known as telomeres during cell divisions. So in normal cells, telomeres can shorten over time, leading to aging and eventual cell death. But in cancer cell is yung enzyme na telomerase is kinikeeps niya na ang telomeres is mag-continuous to make it long and allowing them to keep dividing without limit. So, nagko-contribute to ng uncontrolled growth of tumors. So, yun ang nangyayari. So, next is, ang properties din ni cancer is evasions of growth inhibitory signals. So, meaning the cancer cells is do not respond to the signals that tell them to stop growing. So, ang cell proliferation, ang role niya kasi is yung cell is mag-undergo a cycle of growth and divisions, leading to an increase the number of cell. So, yung process na yon is essential for normal growth, development, and tissues repair. So, yung kapag yung signal is na-inhibit or na-stop, so magkakaroon ng uncontrolled sa cell proliferation, which is magko-continuous na mag-divide yung number of cell. And the last one, properties of cancer cell is tendency to metastasize. So, ano bang ibig sabihin nun? So, si cancer cell ay kayang mag-spread from the original location. So, ang tendency, kakala siya to the other parts of the body. So, nangyayari ito kapag ang cancer cell is nag-travel together with our blood or through lymphatic system. So, ang mangyayari is mag-form ulit ng panibagong cancer cell sa ibang parts ng organ or tissue. Kaya pansin nyo na some other people na na-diagnose ng cancer like breast cancer is na-treat or na-operahan na, but after a month ago, madadiagnose ulit siya na nagkaroon na ng komplikasyon sa ibang parts ng body niya or nadamay na yung ibang organ or tissue niya. So, that's why ang cancer is mahirap i-cure because of their some characteristic na uncontrolled and can spread quickly. So, yun yung last properties ni cancer, no? Mabilis siyang mag-spread through the bloodstream. So, sumasama yung cancer cells sa blood. So, it depends kung saan siya magkakaroon ng komplikasyon. So, mahirap siyang i-cure na kahit cancer survivor ka na, there's have a chances na magkaroon ka rin ng cancer or disease in other parts of the body. So, next is yung culture cells ng normal cell grow. So, and cancer cell. So, as you can see in illustration, normal cell grow in a single layer when placed in a culture dish. So, it is spreading out to cover the surface. So, unlike in cancer cell kasi, it grows in cluster or multiple layers, no? That forming irregular growth patterns. So, this abnormal growth behavior is a hallmark of cancer. So next is the figure 16.4. So as you can see in illustrations, that si normal cells is nagre-rely sa external growth signals to grow. And their growth stops when these signals are no longer available. However, makikita nyo si cancer cells can keep growing without needing these signals and continuing to divide even in their absence of oxygen or presence of oxygen. So, ganun ang kanilang pagkakaiba. So, after natin ma-discuss about the basic properties of cancer cell, so next we proceed in 14.2, which is the causes of cancer cell. So, dito mapag-uusapan natin ano nga ba yung mga causes ng cancer. Ibig sabihin, malalaman natin kung paano to nabubuo in some ways of lifestyle ba or paano natitrigger na magkaroon ng isang cancer. So, let's first tackle about the historical perspective on cancer causes. So, in 1775, si Percival Pott is na-observe niya and na-identify niya yung mga chimney sweeps, which is expose sila sa mga soot, means it is a kind of black powdery kung saan galing sa mga materials tulad ng woods, coal, fuel na nasunog and naging abo, and also nagpo-produce din ng usok. So, since sila yung mga tagalinis, so as you can see yung ganyang structure ng house, no, meron silang parang pangpainit dun sa kanilang katawan since nasa ibang bansa sila. So, may mga parts sa ibang bansa na malamig ang temperatura. So, ang tawag dyan is chimney. So, dyan nilalabas yung mga usok. So, ito yung nasa loob ng bahay, no? Para medyo uminit yung loob ng bahay. So, since sila yung mga tagalinis ng chimney to help prevent blockage or improves air quality, is sila yung mas higher risk sa cancer because yung mga chemicals na napoproduce galing sa iba't ibang materials na sinusunog from the chimney, so ito yung may harmful substances that can damage the DNA in cells, causing changes that can lead to cancer. So, nalalanghap nila yung usok, yung mga, diba, kapag nagsusunog tayo ng mga bagay, so, nag-changes siya in black powdery. Nasunog or naging fragments na yung isang materials. So, maaring malanghap nila and yun yung nagkakos, nakita ni Percival Pott na nagkakos siya ng cancer, which is tinatawag siyang carcinogenic chemicals. So, meron siyang ganung compound, which is kaya niyang baguhin yung DNA cells. Ayan. Na nag-lead sa cancer disease. So, pag-usapan natin yung mga cause ng cancer. The first is carcinogenic agents. So, the chemical carcinogens is, ito yung mga harmful substances na makikita natin sa soot, cigarette smoke, and other chemicals. Like benzene sa mga ihawan, ayan. Coal, yung mga ginagamit sa mga ihawan, ayan. O kaya yung mga vehicle na nag-i-emit ng mga itim na usok na may harmful substances na carcinogenic na nalalanghap natin. So, ito yung mga substances that can directly cause changes, mutations in the DNA, or they can transform by the body enzyme into forms that cause mutation. So, these mutations can lead to cancer over time. So, the another carcinogenic agents is radiation. So, by exposing example of ionizing radiations, like X-ray and radon gas or exposing UV rays from the sun can be carcinogenic that can lead to damages the DNA and promotes cancer. So the example here is ultraviolet radiation can lead the cancer cause of skin cancer which have a strongly mutagenic. So yun yung mga example, no? So next is viruses can cause cancer. So which is pwedeng mag-lead or mag-trigger ng cancerous disease. So DNA tumor viruses. So DNA tumor viruses can trigger changes in a DNA sequence which may lead to cancer. Ayan. So these viruses can integrate their own genetic material into the host cells of DNA, causing disruption in the normal function of the cell. So these viruses, such as an example of this is polyomavirus or SB14 and herpes-like viruses can change the DNA of the cells leading to cancer development. So, ayan. Next is RNA tumor viruses or tinatawag nating retroviruses. So, RNA tumor viruses like retroviruses insert their RNA into the host cell's DNA. Through reverse the transcription, so they can disrupt the normal functions of the cells, affecting the genes that regulate growth and divisions. So this leads to uncontrolled cell growth, which can be result in cancer. So by using cells machinery to replicate their RNA, so these viruses transform normal cells into cancerous. So retroviruses, example is HIV disease, ayan, that can cause cancer by disrupting normal cell growth and regulation. Then other example is human papilloma virus or HPV is a major cause of cervical, mouth, and tongue cancer. So vaccines are available to prevent HPV infections, no? So other example is hepatitis B virus like liver cancer, Epstein-Barr virus like Burkitt lymphoma, ayan. So herpes virus like Kaposi sarcoma, ayan. So no na-observe natin na pwede palang mag-cause ng cancer ang viruses. So, from the DNA tumor or the RNA tumor viruses. So, next is bacterial infections. So, nagkakos pala ng cancer ang bacterial infections. So, infections can lead to cancer by causing chronic inflammation, which is damaged cells and their DNA over time. So, some bacteria and viruses release toxins or interfere with normal cell processes leading to mutation. For example, here is Helicobacter pylori infections that causes in stomach inflammation, increasing stomach cancer risk. While kanina nabanggit ko si viruses like HPV can cause directly alter the cell DNA, triggering uncontrolled growth. So, ayan, nagkakos din pala ng bacterial infections, maaari siyang maging cancerous. Because nati-trigger niya or na-alter niya yung DNA or nagkakaroon ng mutations. And some bacteria kasi, yun nga, nagre-release ng mga harmful substances or toxin and nadi-disrupt nila yung mga healthy cells na mag-process or mag-function. So, another causes ng cancer is chronic inflammation. Ayan. So, it is an infection or conditions like IBD or increases the cancer risk by damaging cells over time. So this create a favorable environment for tumor growth, especially in colon cancer and other inflammations related cancer. So yung mga inflammations, ayan, or para siyang namamaga. So it can lead din pala sa cancerous, no, kapag hindi siya naagapan. So next is, or the last, wait. Okay. So the last is na nagko-cause ng cancer is number one factor din is lifestyle and environmental factors, which is depends naman sa lifestyle ng tao, or maybe depende din sa kanyang environment. Like, kahit na consistent ka sa mga foods na kinukonsume mo, like, nagda-diet ka, kinakain yung mga healthy foods, vegetable, fruits, and nag-exercise ka, pero kung exposed ka sa environment na polluted, like more on carcinogenic emitted like benzene, sa mga street foods or vehicles na nag-i-emit ng mga usok, ayan. And then we inhale it, so it can cause that cell damage and trigger to cancer cell. Another factor, lalo na common ngayon nangyayari, is smoking cigarette, ano? So it can lead to lung cancer. Ayan. So, nagkakaroon ng changes sa ating organ and tissue kapag hindi maganda ang ating lifestyle and ang ating environment. Example dyan is UV radiation causes skin cancer, asbestos causes mesothelioma. Ayan. So, nai-establish din pala ang cancer by it depends on our lifestyle. So, next is diet and obesity. So, obesity increase cancer risk because of high insulin na ipoproduce and IGF-1 levels that promote cell growth. So, ang nangyayari kapag tumataas ang IGF-1 levels, so nagkakaroon or nagpo-promote siya na ang controlled cell growth. So, risky rin pala yung mga obese or underweight na merong risky sila sa mga cancer disease. So, eating healthy foods like soy, broccoli, green tea can lower cancer risk, while consuming too much such as animal fat or yung mga meats tulad ng pork, ayan. Nagkukos din kasi sila ng cholesterol, so medyo marami siyang risk, ano? Or alcohol consumption can increase the cancer. So, yun yung mga causes ng cancer na pwedeng magkaroon ka ng cancer, no? Like the carcinogenic, the viruses, the bacteria, ayan, the inflammations, or pamamagalang is pwede ka na rin palang magkaroon ng cancer if hindi naagapan. And the last is yung lifestyle and environmental factors nga. So, next is pharmacological prevention. So, may mga prevention, no? Or there's some certain drugs can help lower cancer risk. The example here is tamoxifen. Tamoxifen blocks the estrogen-reducing breast cancer risk. So, yun pala ang gamot for the breast cancer, no? Next is NSAIDs, or like aspirin, reduce colon cancer risk by lowering inflammations. Ayan. Says risking by inhibiting the prostaglandin synthesis, reducing inflammations. So, yun yung mga gamot. So, next is metformin, which is a diabetes drug that may reduce cancer risk by lowering insulin and IGF-1 levels. So, kapag pala mataas ang insulin mo and IGF-1 level, so pag mataas yon, so it can lead diabetic disease. So may mga may drug na pwedeng inumin para ma-reduce yung cancer, like the metmorphin drug. So ayan, natakal natin about the what is cancer, the normal cell, cancer cell, the basic properties of cancer cell, and another topic is about the causes of cancer cell, the carcinogenic agents or chemicals, the viruses, the bacteria infections, the inflammations, and also the lifestyle and environmental factors that can cause the cancer, no? So this is the end of 14.1 basic properties of cancer and 14.2 the causes of cancer.